Welcome to Vietnam, a land where ancient traditions meet rapid modernization and where life unfolds with both beauty and complexity. Vietnam is a country of contrasts, bustling motorbike-filled streets in Hanoi and Saigon, peaceful rice terraces in Sapa, and stunning beaches along the coast. It's a place shaped by resilience, rich history, and a deep cultural identity that continues to captivate travelers from all over the world. But beyond the postcard views and tourist trails, real life in Vietnam is layered with stories. Some surprising, some challenging, and some mind-blowingly unique. From extraordinary food culture and chaotic traffic systems to spiritual practices, hidden natural wonders, and the unshakable spirit of its people, Vietnam is never short of fascinating realities. In this documentary, we reveal 15 mind-blowing facts about Vietnam that go far beyond the surface. Some will amaze you, some may shock you, and others will give you a deeper understanding of what everyday life in Vietnam truly looks like in 2025. So buckle up, because Vietnam isn't just another travel destination, it's an experience that will leave you with stories to tell forever. Number 1. Motorbike Nation. To understand Vietnam, you must first understand the motorbike. In a country of nearly 100 million people, there are more than 60 million motorbikes on the streets. That means, on average, almost every household owns one. For many families, the motorbike is not just a vehicle. It is freedom, convenience, and even survival. Walk through Hanoi's Old Quarter or across the streets of Ho Chi Minh City, and you will see a living river of motorbikes flowing endlessly. Entire families balance on one bike. Parents carry children to school, while grandparents cling on tightly at the back. You'll even see unbelievable loads being transported. Stacks of chickens in cages, huge baskets of fruit, refrigerators, or bundles of construction material, all balanced on two wheels. Unlike cars, motorbikes slip through narrow alleys and rural paths, making them ideal for both crowded cities and remote villages. In Vietnam, the motorbike is the great equalizer. Rich or poor, student or worker, everyone depends on it. It's a daily companion that defines the rhythm of life. Crossing the street as a foreigner can be intimidating. You don't wait for traffic lights. Instead, you step slowly into the flow, and the motorbikes weave gracefully around you like fish in a stream. To outsiders, it looks like chaos. To locals, it is harmony. This culture of motorbikes also shapes social life. Young people gather at night, parking their scooters in circles by lakesides or coffee shops. Couples go on long rides through mountain passes. Workers use them as mobile kitchens, selling banh mi or noodle soup directly from their bikes. The motorbike is also a reflection of Vietnam's resilience and creativity. During the war, bicycles and later motorbikes were used to transport weapons and supplies across jungles and mountains. Today, they symbolize mobility, opportunity, and a fast-moving future. So when you think of Vietnam, don't imagine cars or buses as the lifeline of the nation. Picture instead a sea of motorbikes, buzzing through the streets from dawn until midnight. It's noisy, it's chaotic, but it's also full of life. Number 2. Street food culture. If the motorbike is Vietnam's heartbeat, street food is its soul. To walk through any Vietnamese city is to be greeted by an orchestra of sizzling pans, bubbling broths, and fragrant herbs drifting from every corner. Food in Vietnam is not confined to restaurants. It spills out into the streets, onto plastic stools, under umbrellas, and in bustling night markets where entire communities gather. Start with pho, the dish that has become Vietnam's ambassador to the world. This steaming bowl of broth, noodles, and thinly sliced beef or chicken is eaten at breakfast, lunch, or midnight. Locals crouch on sidewalks, slurping pho as scooters zoom past. The secret lies in the broth, which simmers for hours with spices like star, anise, and cinnamon. Then there's banh mi, the iconic Vietnamese sandwich that blends French colonial influence with local creativity. A crisp baguette stuffed with pork, pâté, pickled vegetables, fresh herbs, and chili sauce is the kind of street food you grab on the way to work, at a cost so low it feels almost unbelievable. Street food is not just about eating quickly. It's about community. Friends gather at night for bia hoi, a light draft beer served in tiny glasses, alongside plates of peanuts, grilled meat skewers, and fried snacks. Families crowd around low tables at food stalls to share bowls of bun cha, a Hanoi specialty of grilled pork with noodles and dipping sauce. In the South, you'll see endless variations of hủ tiếu, bánh xèo, crispy pancakes, and cơm tam, broken rice with grilled pork. What makes Vietnamese street food extraordinary is not only its flavor, but its accessibility. It is cheap, fresh, and deeply tied to daily life. A student, an office worker, or even a wealthy businessman can all sit shoulder to shoulder on the same plastic stool, enjoying the same bowl of noodles. Street food bridges class divisions and keeps traditions alive. And let's not forget the adventure of it all. For travelers, every corner reveals a new taste. Would you dare try balut, the fertilized duck egg eaten with herbs and salt? Or maybe you'd go for chi, a colorful dessert of beans, fruit, and coconut milk. Street food is also Vietnam's stage for innovation. Vendors constantly reinvent dishes, adding modern twists to traditional recipes. Yet the essence remains the same: food that is quick, flavorful, and shared in the open air. In Vietnam, dining isn't just about eating. It's about being part of the rhythm of the streets. When you sit down on a plastic stool, with chopsticks in hand and steam rising from your bowl, you are no longer just a visitor. You become part of Vietnam's living culture. Number 3. Halong Bay. Few places on earth feel as otherworldly as Halong Bay. And once you lay eyes on it, you understand why it is Vietnam's crown jewel and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Stretching across the Gulf of Tonkin in northern Vietnam, this natural wonder is home to more than 1,600 limestone islands and islets, rising dramatically from emerald green waters like giant dragon's teeth. The name itself, Ha Long, translates to descending dragon, and legend says the bay was created when dragons sent by the gods descended from the heavens to protect Vietnam from invaders. As they thrashed their tails, they carved the cliffs and valleys, and when they spat out jade and jewels, those turned into the islands we see today. Myth or not, the bay feels alive with mystery. Visiting Halong Bay is not just sightseeing. It's an immersive journey into both nature and culture. You glide through the waters on a traditional junk boat, sails unfurling against the misty horizon. The silence is broken only by the gentle splash of oars or the call of seabirds. Some travelers choose luxury cruises with private decks, while others opt for smaller wooden boats that dock at floating villages, where fishermen live their entire lives on water. Each island has its own character. Some hide enormous caves like Sung Sat, Surprise Cave, with glittering stalactites and chambers big enough to fit thousands of people. Others feature hidden lagoons you can only reach by kayak, where the water is so still it feels like stepping into a secret world. Monkey Island, Cat Ba Island, and T-Top Island all add adventure to the experience. From hiking trails to sandy beaches, perfect for a quick swim. But Ha Long Bay is more than postcard views. For locals, it has been a livelihood for generations. Floating fishing communities have existed here for centuries, sustained by the bay's abundant seafood. Today, many of these families invite visitors to share in their daily life, offering glimpses of how tradition and modern tourism coexist. The magic of Ha Long Bay changes with the time of day. At sunrise, golden light cuts through the morning mist, painting the limestone cliffs in warm hues. By midday, the bay glows, emerald and blue. As evening falls, the islands turn into black silhouettes against a fiery sky. It feels like watching nature perform an endless symphony of light and shadow. Halong Bay is not simply a place to see, it is a place to feel. It overwhelms the senses, slows you down, and reminds you of how powerful and beautiful nature can be. Standing on the deck of a boat, wind in your hair, surrounded by ancient stone giants rising from the sea, you understand why millions call this one of the most breathtaking natural wonders in the world. Number 4. Coffee capital. If there's one drink that defines Vietnam's modern culture while still carrying deep traditions, it's coffee. Today, Vietnam is the second largest coffee exporter in the world, and yet, coffee here is more than just a global trade. It's an experience, a ritual, and a way of life. Coffee arrived in Vietnam in the 19th century with French colonists, but over the years, the Vietnamese transformed it into something uniquely theirs. Walk through any city, whether it's Hanoi's Old Quarter, the buzzing streets of Ho Chi Minh City, or small towns in the highlands, and you'll find coffee shops on every corner. Some are chic and modern, but many are tiny family-run stalls with plastic stools spilling onto the sidewalk, where locals sit for hours sipping slowly, chatting, or simply watching the world pass by. The most iconic style is Café Fin, a slow brewing method that uses a small metal drip filter. Ground coffee is placed in the fin, hot water is poured over, and the rich liquid drips steadily into a glass. It takes time, but that's part of the beauty. The patience makes the first sip even more rewarding. The result is strong, dark, and bold, often sweetened with thick condensed milk, a legacy of times when fresh milk was hard to find. This simple yet powerful drink, Café Surada, iced coffee with milk, is a national favorite and has won hearts worldwide. But Vietnam didn't stop there. In Hanoi, a creative twist born in the 1940 seconds gave us egg coffee, Café Trung. Beaten egg yolks are whipped with sugar and milk to create a creamy foam, then poured over a shot of hot black coffee. The taste is rich, velvety, almost like liquid tiramisu. It might sound unusual at first, but once you try it, you'll understand why people line up in hidden cafes for this treat. Head to central and southern Vietnam, and you'll find even more variations. Coconut coffee, yogurt coffee, and even salted coffee are part of the evolving culture. And in Dalat, Vietnam's coffee capital in the highlands, vast plantations stretch across hillsides. Here, farmers grow Robusta beans, the variety that gives Vietnamese coffee its punchy strength, making it stand apart from the smoother Arabica varieties grown elsewhere. Coffee in Vietnam isn't just about taste, it's social. Friends meet over coffee, business deals start over coffee, and strangers become acquaintances on low stools by the roadside. Unlike the rush coffee culture in many countries, here it's slow, unhurried, reflective. A single cup might last an hour as people talk, laugh, or simply observe daily life buzzing around them. So when you sit with a glass of Vietnamese coffee in hand, you're not just drinking a beverage. You're tasting history, creativity, and the heartbeat of everyday life. Whether it's a steaming cup of egg coffee in Hanoi on a cold morning or a glass of iced Café Surada on a hot Saigon afternoon, coffee here is more than caffeine, it's connection. Number 5. War history and tunnels. To understand Vietnam today, you cannot ignore its war history. The scars of the Vietnam War remain etched into the land and into the memory of its people. And perhaps no site tells this story better than the Ho Chi tunnels, a vast underground network outside of Ho Chi Minh City. These tunnels were not simply holes in the ground, they were a lifeline, stretching for over 200 kilometers. The Ho Chi tunnels formed an intricate system of living quarters, kitchens, weapon storage, and hospitals, all hidden beneath the earth. At the height of the war, thousands of fighters and villagers lived below ground, enduring suffocating heat, tight spaces, and constant danger from bombs and raids above. Inside, life was harsh. Imagine crawling through a pitch-dark tunnel barely wide enough for your shoulders, the air heavy with humidity, every step echoing with the weight of survival. Food was scarce, diseases spread easily, and the constant fear of discovery loomed. Yet, the people persevered. Their resilience turned these tunnels into a powerful symbol of determination and ingenuity. The tunnels were also a weapon of strategy. Fighters could move silently underground, appear suddenly behind enemy lines, and vanish again without a trace. Simple but effective traps were laid, communication lines were built, and despite overwhelming odds, this underground world allowed them to continue resisting. Today, the Ho Chi tunnels are open to visitors, and stepping into even a small section is an eye-opening experience. You crouch low, squeeze through the narrow passage, and feel a small fraction of what life must have been like during those years. Some parts have even been widened for tourists, yet many still find the experience intense. Above ground, exhibits show remnants of wartime traps, weapons, and shelters. Stories from survivors bring the tunnels to life, not as relics, but as reminders of human endurance in the face of unimaginable hardship. But the Ho Chi tunnels are not only about war, they are also about survival, creativity, and the strength of a nation that refused to give up. Walking away, you carry a sense of respect for the resilience of the Vietnamese people, who endured so much and rebuilt their country from the ashes. Number 6. Áo Dai tradition. Few symbols capture the soul of Vietnam like the Áo Dai. This elegant, flowing dress, with its long tunic worn over loose trousers, is more than fashion. It is identity, heritage, and national pride stitched into fabric. The Áo Dai dates back centuries, but its modern form emerged in the 18th century. Over time, it has evolved, sometimes looser and practical, other times tighter and form-fitting, reflecting shifting styles and influences. Yet, despite changes, the essence remains the same. The Áo Dai highlights grace, modesty, and strength, blending tradition with beauty. For women, the Áo Dai is often seen in white during school years, symbolizing purity and youth. Later in life, colors and patterns bloom, reds for celebration, blues and pastels for everyday wear, gold and embroidered designs for weddings or formal events. Men also wear Áo Dai, especially during festivals, weddings, and important ceremonies. Though the female version is more commonly recognized worldwide, what makes the ao dai so enduring is the way it balances modesty with elegance. The high neckline and long sleeves respect traditional values, while the flowing silhouette and side slits give it a timeless, graceful shape. It is not just clothing. It's a cultural expression that has survived colonial influence, war, and modernization. Even today, the ao dai is everywhere, from school uniforms in some cities, to national ceremonies, to international beauty contests where Vietnam proudly showcases it. On Tet, the Lunar New Year, families wear ao dai to honor ancestors and welcome good fortune. Walk through Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City during a festival, and you'll see streets filled with vibrant colors, as people of all ages don their ao dai with pride. It also carries deep emotional weight. For many Vietnamese women, their first ao dai marks a rite of passage, a transition into adulthood. For families, it's a reminder of shared heritage. And for Vietnam as a whole, the ao dai has become a symbol recognizable across the world, an identity marker that says, "This is Vietnam." Today, designers continue to modernize the ao dai, experimenting with new fabrics, cuts, and global influences, but always keeping its essence intact. Whether worn in daily life, at weddings, or on international stages, the ao dai tells the story of a nation that values both tradition and progress. Number 7. Rice Bowl of Asia. If Vietnam has a heartbeat, it beats in rhythm with the rice fields. Rice isn't only food here, it's history, livelihood, and culture all at once. That's why Vietnam is often called the Rice Bowl of Asia, stretching across the country, from the Red River Delta in the north to the mighty Mekong Delta in the south. Rice paddies shape not just the economy, but also the landscapes that travelers never forget. In Sapa, for example, vast terrace fields carve into mountain slopes, looking like giant green stairways built by nature itself. These terraces aren't just beautiful for photos, they're feats of human ingenuity, built over centuries by ethnic minority groups who learned how to grow rice in the most challenging terrain. Down south, the Mekong Delta tells a different story. Here, waterways take the place of roads, and rice paddies stretch endlessly like a living ocean of green. Farmers plant, harvest, and transport their crops using boats that glide across the river channels. This region alone produces more than half of Vietnam's rice, earning it the title of Vietnam's rice basket. Without the Mekong Delta, Vietnam wouldn't be one of the largest rice exporters in the world. But rice in Vietnam isn't only about agriculture, it's about life itself. Every meal is centered around rice. Steamed white rice, sticky rice, rice noodles, rice paper, rice porridge. The grain finds its way into nearly every dish on the Vietnamese table. For many families, rice farming is a way of survival passed down through generations, and the harvest season is celebrated with gratitude. Culturally, rice also connects to traditions and beliefs. Offerings of rice are made at temples and family altars to honor ancestors. Folktales and proverbs often revolve around rice, reminding people of its sacred role in survival and community. Even Vietnam's festivals often include rice-based dishes, symbolizing abundance and prosperity. For travelers, walking through these landscapes offers more than a view. It's an encounter with the backbone of Vietnamese life. The terraces of Sapa, the endless plains of the Mekong, the golden glow of paddies during harvest. These are the sights that define the countryside and the people who work tirelessly to sustain not only themselves but also millions around the world. Number 8. Water puppetry. Step into a theater in Vietnam, and you may find the stage is not made of wood, but of water. This is the magical world of water puppetry, a performing art that has been practiced in Vietnam for more than 1,000 years. Water puppetry originated in the rice fields of northern Vietnam, especially in villages around the Red River Delta. During the rainy season, when fields flooded, villagers would gather around ponds to watch wooden puppets come to life on the water. What began as entertainment for farmers slowly evolved into a cultural treasure that is still celebrated today. In a performance, the stage is a pool of waist-deep water. The puppeteers, hidden behind a screen, stand in the water and control the puppets, using long bamboo rods and strings beneath the surface. The effect is mesmerizing. Puppets appear to glide, swim, and even dance on the water. Colorful characters act out folk tales, legends, and scenes of daily village life. Farmers planting rice, fishermen catching fish, or mythical dragons spouting water and fire. Music adds to the spectacle. Traditional instruments like drums, flutes, and gongs create rhythm, while singers narrate the stories with ancient Vietnamese verses. The sound of water splashing, combined with laughter and song, makes the experience lively and unforgettable. What makes water puppetry special is that it is uniquely Vietnamese. You won't find this art form anywhere else in the world. It reflects the country's deep connection with water, agriculture, and community life. It also shows how creativity can turn something as ordinary as a flooded rice paddy into a stage for storytelling and celebration. Today, water puppet shows are performed not only in villages, but also in big cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, attracting both locals and tourists. For many travelers, seeing a water puppet performance is one of the highlights of visiting Vietnam because it feels like stepping into a living tradition passed down from generation to generation. More than entertainment, water puppetry is a reminder of Vietnam's ability to preserve its culture while sharing it proudly with the world. Number 9. Buddhist and spiritual life. In Vietnam, spirituality is not confined to temples or holy days, it flows through daily life. The country's spiritual fabric is a blend of Buddhism, Taoism, Confucian traditions, and folk beliefs, often practiced side by side without conflict. For many Vietnamese, it is natural to visit a Buddhist pagoda in the morning, burn incense for ancestors at home in the evening, and still participate in folk festivals rooted in ancient village traditions. Pagodas are at the heart of this life. From the bustling streets of Hanoi to remote mountain villages, pagodas rise with their curved roofs, statues of the Buddha, and incense smoke curling into the air. People come not only to pray for health, wealth, or happiness, but also to find peace and balance in a hectic world. Rituals like offering fruit, flowers, and incense are everyday acts of respect. Ancestor worship is equally important. Nearly every household keeps an altar for parents and grandparents, decorated with candles, photos, and offerings. On death anniversaries or festivals like Tet, Vietnamese Lunar New Year, families prepare meals and invite the spirits of their ancestors to join them, reinforcing strong family bonds and continuity across generations. Festivals tied to Buddhism and spirituality shape the national calendar. For example, Vu Lan, or the Ghost Festival, honors deceased ancestors and wandering souls. Pilgrimages to sacred sites like the Perfume Pagoda draw thousands each year, with devotees climbing mountains and taking boat rides to reach shrines hidden in caves. What makes Vietnam's spiritual life unique is its harmony between religions and traditions. Many people don't identify strictly with one faith. Instead, they follow a way of life that respects the Buddha, honors ancestors, and embraces rituals that connect the living with the spiritual world. This quiet but powerful devotion creates a rhythm in Vietnamese society where respect, gratitude, and mindfulness are deeply valued. For travelers, experiencing a festival, lighting incense at a pagoda, or witnessing a family's ancestor ceremony offers a window into the heart of Vietnam's identity. Number 10. Young population. Vietnam is one of the youngest nations in Asia, with the majority of its population under the age of 35. Walk through the busy streets of Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, and you'll immediately feel the energy. Cafes overflow with students studying or entrepreneurs brainstorming over iced coffee. Night markets buzz with young vendors selling clothes, gadgets, and street food, while music spills from small bars tucked into side alleys. This youthful energy drives the country's fast-growing economy. Many of Vietnam's young people are highly tech-savvy, fluent in using smartphones, apps, and online platforms for everything from shopping to learning. Startups and small businesses are popping up rapidly, led by ambitious youth eager to reshape their future. Global companies are also drawn here, investing in Vietnam's workforce because of its adaptability and drive. Education plays a huge role. Parents emphasize academic success, and universities are filled with young people chasing careers in technology, business, and international trade. At the same time, there is a thriving creative scene. Young designers, musicians, and filmmakers are gaining attention both locally and abroad, blending traditional Vietnamese culture with modern global trends. Culturally, the young generation also balances tradition and modernity. While they honor ancestral customs, festivals, and family values, they're equally open to global influences in fashion, music, and lifestyle. Social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram are booming, giving the youth a voice and shaping pop culture in real time. This combination of tradition, creativity, and ambition makes Vietnam's youth the heart of its transformation. They are the reason why the country is seen as one of Asia's most dynamic societies today, full of life, promise, and possibilities. Number 11. Natural wonders beyond Halong. While Halong Bay often takes the spotlight, Vietnam's natural wonders extend far beyond its famous limestone karsts. The country is a land of breathtaking variety, where rivers, caves, and mountains shape the rhythm of daily life. Take Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park, home to some of the largest and most spectacular caves in the world, including Sun Dong Cave, which is so massive it has its own ecosystem, jungle, and weather system inside. Adventurers travel from across the globe to trek through underground rivers, vast caverns, and glittering stalactites, making this UNESCO site one of Vietnam's crown jewels. Then there's the Mekong Delta, often called the Rice Bowl of Vietnam. This is not just farmland, it's a living, breathing water world where rivers replace roads and boats serve as taxis, kitchens, and shops. Life here flows with the tides. Families wake up early to sell fruits, fish, and goods at floating markets. Rice paddies stretch as far as the eye can see, feeding millions and supporting Vietnam's place as a top rice exporter. For travelers, drifting along the delta in a wooden boat feels like stepping into another pace of life, where simplicity and resilience shine through. Head north, and you find the terraced mountains of Sapa and Ha Giang. These rice terraces are engineering marvels carved into steep hillsides by generations of ethnic minority communities. In spring, the terraces glow with emerald green, and in autumn, they turn into shimmering layers of gold. Walking through these mountains means not only stunning views, but also encounters with local traditions, colorful textiles, and warm hospitality. Together, these wonders reveal Vietnam as a land of extremes: vast caves hidden underground, fertile deltas alive with commerce, and towering mountains sculpted by human hands. They show a side of the country that goes far beyond postcards, offering travelers raw beauty and a connection to how deeply people live in harmony with nature. Number 12. French colonial legacy. Vietnam's streets, flavors, and daily habits still carry echoes of its French colonial past. Walk through Hanoi's Old Quarter or Ho Chi Minh City's boulevards, and you'll see it clearly in the architecture. Wide tree-lined avenues, pastel-painted villas, and landmarks like the Hanoi Opera House or Saigon's Notre Dame Cathedral Basilica, which look as if they were transported straight from Europe. These structures blend seamlessly with Vietnamese traditions, creating a unique East meets West charm that defines many of the country's cities. Food is where the French influence feels most alive. The baguette, adopted and adapted by the Vietnamese, became the foundation for banh mi, one of the world's favorite street foods. Crispy bread filled with pork, pickled vegetables, herbs, and chili makes for a sandwich that is both familiar and completely unique. Coffee is another inheritance. Vietnam didn't just adopt it, they transformed it. The French introduced coffee cultivation, but the Vietnamese created their own iconic styles, like café surada, East coffee with condensed milk, and egg coffee, a sweet, creamy blend born in Hanoi that surprises first-time visitors. Beyond food and buildings, the colonial era also influenced law, education, and even Vietnam's taste for wine and pastries. Yet what makes this legacy so fascinating is how the Vietnamese didn't merely preserve French culture, they absorbed it and remade it into something distinctly their own. What once symbolized foreign control has now become part of national identity, woven naturally into everyday life. The French colonial footprint in Vietnam is a reminder of history's complexity, where hardship gave rise to resilience and creativity. Today, travelers experience this legacy not as a clash, but as a vibrant fusion, sipping strong coffee in a colonial cafe, eating banh mi on the street, and walking past buildings that carry both French elegance and Vietnamese soul. Number 13. Tet Festival. Tet, the Vietnamese Lunar New Year, is the single most important celebration in the country, blending culture, family, and spirituality into one spectacular event. For many, it is more than a holiday. It is a time to honor ancestors, cleanse the past year's misfortunes, and welcome a new year with hope and good fortune. Streets, homes, and markets burst into life with colors, sounds, and smells that are entirely unique to Vietnam. Before Tet, families prepare meticulously. Homes are cleaned to sweep away bad luck, and altars are adorned with offerings of fruit, flowers, and incense for ancestors. Streets become lively with flower markets, especially peach blossoms in the north and kumquat trees in the south, each carrying symbolic meanings of prosperity and happiness. Vendors sell candies, traditional cakes like bánh chưng and bánh tét, and ornamental decorations that transform ordinary neighborhoods into festive wonderlands. During the holiday, family gatherings dominate daily life. People travel long distances to reunite, exchange gifts, and pay respects to ancestors. Children receive lì xì, red envelopes with money, symbolizing good luck and prosperity. Public celebrations feature lion dances, firecrackers, and cultural performances. The atmosphere is both joyous and spiritual, blending ancient customs with the excitement of starting fresh. Tet is not only about celebration, it is a reflection of Vietnam's values. Respect for elders, family unity, and community harmony are at the heart of every action. Travelers witnessing Tet can feel the nation's energy, vibrancy, and deep cultural roots. Imagine walking through a Vietnamese city during Tet, the air thick with incense, streets alive with color, the sound of laughter, and the scent of freshly cooked delicacies filling every corner. It is an immersive cultural experience that shows why Tet is more than just a festival. It is the heartbeat of Vietnam. Number 14. Contrasts of city and countryside. Vietnam is a land of striking contrasts, where the rapid pace of bustling cities exists alongside serene rural landscapes, creating a unique rhythm to daily life. In Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, streets are alive from dawn to dusk, with motorbikes weaving through traffic, street vendors shouting over the crowd, and neon signs illuminating crowded sidewalks. Skyscrapers rise next to centuries-old temples, and high-end cafes sit across from street stalls, serving steaming bowls of pho or crispy bang zao. The energy is intense, constant, and mesmerizing, capturing the essence of a country on the move. Yet, just a few hours outside these urban centers, life shifts dramatically. Rice paddies ripple in the wind, farmers work slowly under the sun, and mountain villages seem untouched by time. In places like Sapa, the Mekong Delta, or Ha Giang, communities maintain traditional lifestyles. Children play along riverbanks, elders gather in shaded courtyards, and markets are quieter but rich with local produce and crafts. The pace is deliberate, reflective, and deeply connected to nature. This contrast is not only visual but experiential. Travelers can start the day navigating crowded streets, dodging motorbikes, tasting street food, and absorbing the urban pulse. Then, in a matter of hours, find themselves biking along emerald rice terraces, hiking through misty mountains, or paddling along calm river channels, far from the chaos of the city. It is a reminder of how adaptable and diverse Vietnam is, balancing modernity with tradition, speed with stillness. Experiencing both sides is essential to understanding the country. It challenges visitors to see Vietnam not just as a destination, but as a living, breathing mosaic of cultures, lifestyles, and landscapes. When was the last time you felt a city's heart racing and a village's soul whispering in the same day? Vietnam offers that rare chance. Number 15. Vietnamese resilience. Vietnam's history is a tapestry of struggle, survival, and reinvention. For centuries, the country faced invasions, colonial rule, and devastating wars. From resisting Chinese dynasties to enduring French colonization and the turbulent Vietnam War, natural disasters, floods, and typhoons tested communities repeatedly. Yet the spirit of the people remained unbroken. Every challenge has been met with a combination of creativity, resourcefulness, and solidarity. Walking through any Vietnamese city or village, you see resilience in daily life. Street vendors rise before dawn to prepare food for bustling markets. Farmers rise with the sun, tending rice paddies and livestock, adapting to changing seasons. Students navigate crowded schools with determination, and young entrepreneurs innovate in cafes, tech hubs, and workshops. This is a society that blends hard-earned tradition with modern ambition, carrying forward lessons of the past while embracing opportunities for the future. The resilience also shows in communal life. Families support one another through hardship, elders pass wisdom to younger generations, and local communities organize to rebuild after storms or floods. Festivals, religious rituals, and communal celebrations are not just cultural expressions. They are acts of perseverance, reinforcing identity and unity. Visiting Vietnam is not just sightseeing, it is witnessing human tenacity in action. Can you feel the heartbeat of a people who have endured, adapted, and continue to thrive? Their resilience transforms every street, village, and city, into a story of courage and hope. Vietnam is a land of contrasts, resilience, and wonder. From the roaring streets of Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi to the serene rice terraces of Sapa and the mystical limestone islands of Halong Bay, this country invites travelers to experience both its vibrant energy and quiet soul. Every corner tells a story of history, of survival, of innovation, and of heart. You've seen how Vietnamese people navigate modern cities, honor traditions, celebrate festivals, and rebuild after disasters, all while maintaining a proud, adaptable, and forward-looking spirit. You've glimpsed breathtaking landscapes, tasted bold street food, witnessed sacred rituals, and felt the pulse of a nation that refuses to be defined solely by its challenges. So, what's your next move? Will you let Vietnam's chaotic streets, tranquil villages, historic temples, and lively festivals inspire your next adventure? This is more than travel. It's an invitation to see how history, culture, and human spirit intertwine in one unforgettable country. If this journey fascinated you, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to never miss another exploration into the world's most incredible destinations. Share your thoughts and let us know which part of Vietnam you'd love to experience first. The adventure is waiting. Are you ready to step into it?